So here they got this fella commit suicide because he faced discrimination and bullying in the police force. He worked as a police officer and he's a sergeant. And he worked there for 18 years. So as a sergeant, for 18 years, it's a condemned rank. So in the way that he's condemned, he commits suicide. And before his suicide, he wrote a note that he was being bullied and there is some discrimination against him, and that's the reason why he committed suicide. And he even said that the police culture was toxic. It's a toxic culture. And he died. After the investigation, the police found that there is no such thing as discrimination and bullying and also whatever have done onto him, except that what he's complained about, that some police officer that's doing vaping. But the investigation said there's no discrimination and no bullying and there's no such thing as toxic culture. But based on experience, I've been in the police force before for less than 5 years. And indeed, what he said was a toxic culture. But let's talk about myself because I was a police before. And this guy was 18 years in the police force. And he didn't quit, but keep on continuing until he committed suicide. So when I was a police force, I joined at a very young age. I was so determined. I want to be a good policeman. I want to catch bad people. I want to do something for the society, do something for Singapore. I went to the training, I passed my exam, and every exam I will pass. Every test I will pass, including the IPPT, including the shooting and physical, mentally, and also in the lab. You study the law, you study penal code, you study a lot of things in the police force, not just only our physical training. But the thing is that after I finished my training for 6 months, I went into the work in the police force. It was like a daily routine job for me. It's so boring. I said, what the fuck, man, working in the police force. My brain will sooner or later get rusty. Every day we're doing the same thing. And you know that the toxic culture in the police force is very strong. It's very real. The toxic culture in the police force. And also discrimination. In the police force, there are Chinese, Malay, and Indians. And it seems there's a separation among them. The Chinese like to group among themselves. The Malay like to group among themselves, and the Indians, minority, so they join the Malays together. Most of the time that we don't like each other, and we sometimes talk bad behind their backs. And they also talk bad about us, Chinese versus Malay, that kind of thing. But even that so, I was trying to be non-racist, or I'm trying to be good, that kind of thing. I try to join the Malays and the Indian groups, drink with them, eat with them. But then the Chinese groups see that I'm like not loyal to them, like I'm not faithful, like I'm a fickle-minded, whether I want to join this group or join that group. So in the way that I was in between and I got bullied. I'm serious, because the Chinese couldn't trust me in a way. So how do they bully me? They talk bad about me. The Malay also the same thing, because I am Chinese, they are Malay. So in a way we are not related to each other. And also when it comes to socializing, I need to be socialized with the people in the police force. If I couldn't socialize well, they will treat me like alien, that kind of people that look snobbish. But the thing is that when it comes to work, I just do my job. But in police force, it's not. Besides, you need to do your job, you need to socialize with them. When they go to eat, you have to join them and talk all kind of stupid nonsense that make my brain even rusty. They talk about things like playing games. They talk about things like music, boast about where they go to. We talk about their family, talk about their friends, and also talk about what sex. There even one sergeant told me, the sergeant told me that time the sergeant was quite a high ranking, told me that he even had sex a virgin in Indonesia. So this is what happened. They just talk a lot of stupid things and make the work so boring. So every time I was having dinner or having coffee with them, it's so boring. I just sit there quietly and listening to them like Gundu. So because of that, they see me not the kind of blend with them together. What people are doing is pleasing each other, because their job is so routine. Every day go for patrol, shift hour, we are working in shift hour, and so 8-hour shift and 12-hour shift. Get our guns, and then we pack ourselves, and then get all the things on the patrol vehicles. And we work at night, it's better. You can get to sleep. They will park their vehicles, the police car in some parking lot and sleep. So it's become like a sleeping, working kind of thing. Whether you are in the police coast guard or you are on the road, you have a chance to sleep. Even you work in the radio room, sleep in the car, sleep in the boat, some air conditioning room, they take turns to sleep. So it becomes like sleeping. So say, what the use of working in police force? Whether you work more or whether you work less, you still get the same salary. So I was very discouraged. And also people start to bully me. Some people even knock my head very hard. I forgot that time why they knock my head. I even remember the name of them who bully me, and they even spit on my face, spit saliva on my face, trying to bully me. And his name I even remember, Felix and Wilson, and also William. These are the people who bully me in the police force because I couldn't blend with their culture. They always like to please the seniors. They like to please those people who are rich, who are boastful, who are talented. That is what happened in the police force. It's very toxic culture. If you don't blend with them, you'll be left out and bullied by them. And when you want to take leave, all these things, they look at you because they also want to take leave. So we couldn't take leave at the same time. So it will clash with their important event. And especially in Chinese New Year, we need to fight for the leave for the Chinese New Year. If I took leave within Chinese New Year, the seniors will be unhappy with me because I took their leave away. So they couldn't enjoy their Chinese New Year or whatever event when I took leave. So it's very painful even taking leave. So I fed up with that. I decided to take a lot of MC. I sleep a lot in the police force because it was very demoralized in the workforce. I get very discouraged. So what I do is that I don't care. Sleep even every time, and also to MC. My behavior in police force becomes worse and worse because the culture is very toxic. And at the same time, I try to earn extra money outside for my studies because I said no more. I need to quit the police and then I need to go for study. So I began to do a lot of things that made myself so tired. I couldn't work in the police force anymore. And then went for my study, and then I studied until master degree. At the age of 28 years old, I got my master. And then I start my life differently, working in the private sector, in the different society. After quitting the police force, I know the meaning of working. In the police force, it's just like you need to please the people and flatter the people. Hello, sir. How are you, sir? You look great, sir. You look strong, sir. You know what I mean? And the way to make yourself very blend with them is treat them. Every time you go with them, treat them some coffee, treat them tea. Sir, do you want me to buy you a tea? I even experienced that senior police officers smoking in the car, cigarettes. That time got no vaping, but they smoke cigarette in the car, in the boat. And what kind of cigarette did they smoke? Indonesian cigarettes. The smell is so awful. I got to endure. It got myself giddy, so I can't even concentrate on my work. So luckily, I chose to quit that time. And this Indian officer, he already worked for 18 years, and he endured for 18 years until he chose a different path. So sad, right? But one thing good about Singapore Police Force that the Indian officer also experienced is they allow you to transfer to another department. So they transferred me to office, they transferred me to radio room when I was in the police force. Because I couldn't feel there's any work satisfaction. If you don't get promoted, people look down at you and you get condemned. And that's what happened in the toxic culture of SPF. And so I really do understand this Indian officer before he committed suicide. And what he wrote is almost true. Couldn't blend in with the culture and couldn't mix with the people he was with. So there are people like me quit, but not a lot of us like him chose this kind of suicide path. That's what the culture in police force is all about. You can say toxic, but for others, maybe it's privilege, benefits, enjoyment because they know how to fit themselves. And this is my working experience in the police force. I'm not joking about it. And this is my serious video I've done so far. Hopefully you like it. Remember to subscribe, like and share. Ciao.